So you got to make it good because you know what? I'm looking to jab. So if I can jab you, you're going to try to hit me.
Jake Paul's preparation for his fight with Mike Tyson has taken an unexpected turn as he reportedly teams up with legendary former heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield. Known for his experience, technical prowess, and resilience in the ring, Holyfield offers a unique skill set to help Paul prepare for Tyson, who is regarded as one of the most powerful punchers in boxing history. This alleged collaboration has created a buzz, with many wondering if Holyfield's guidance can give Paul the edge he needs to face Tyson.
I hit the guy with my hardest shot, but he didn't go nowhere. I may wipe my feet off like I slipped. Because I'm letting him know that
there's more. Holyfield isn't just a former champion. He's one of the few fighters who has gone toe-to-toe with Tyson and emerged victorious. He has first-hand knowledge of Tyson's fighting style, strengths, and weaknesses. Holyfield's strategic approach and defensive skill set make him the ideal mentor to help Paul understand Tyson's tendencies and movements in the ring. With his renowned durability and technique, Holyfield is likely focusing on sharpening Paul's defensive maneuvers and counter-punching, equipping him to survive Tyson's notoriously aggressive style. Holyfield has reportedly designed a specialized training regimen for Paul, targeting several crucial areas that will be tested in his fight against Tyson. His knockout power is lethal at close range, so Holyfield is focusing on Paul's footwork and defensive skills, teaching him to stay agile and keep his distance when necessary. By drilling quick lateral movements, Holyfield aims to help Paul avoid Tyson's powerful hooks and uppercuts.
You didn't fall, I must have to have. Like that, so, you know, I'm like, the hardest shot. The whole thing is another game. Another game.
Jake, if you ever miss, wipe your feet off.
Yeah,
let's go.
all you gotta do, you wipe it like this, and everybody's going,
he must have slipped.
He slept.
Holyfield's own fights with Tyson demonstrated the effectiveness of well-timed counterpunching. Under Holyfield's mentorship, Paul is practicing a series of counterpunches designed to capitalize on any openings Tyson might leave. Holyfield is teaching Paul how to effectively respond to Tyson's attacks, especially his famous head movements and weaving style. One of the challenges of fighting Tyson is the pressure he puts on his opponents early on. Holyfield is reportedly pushing Paul to focus on conditioning drills that build stamina, allowing him to endure high-pressure situations and conserve energy for the later rounds. Holyfield's mental toughness and ability to keep his cool played a significant role in his success against Tyson. He is instilling this same resilience in Paul, helping him prepare for the psychological warfare that often accompanies Tyson's bouts. Holyfield has been working with Paul on staying composed no matter the pressure or provocation.
Stay ready, y'all gonna get ready. Stay ready.
That's the whole thing. That's the truth to all. You'll never get out of shape, you ain't gotta worry about getting in.
To bring realism into training, Holyfield has been sparring with Paul and using his technical knowledge to simulate Tyson's style. These sparring sessions have been intense, pushing Paul to adapt quickly and apply the strategies he's learning. Holyfield has also introduced technical drills that mirror Tyson's offensive strategies, allowing Paul to experience and react to Tyson's signature power and speed. While Paul's fighting style has traditionally been more geared towards the basics and relying on his physical fitness, Holyfield's influence is adding layers of complexity and defense. Fans and boxing analysts are already noting a more refined approach in Paul's training sessions. He's showing improved patience, focus, and willingness to play a defensive game rather than rushing in with straightforward attacks. Paul has expressed gratitude for the opportunity to learn from a veteran like Holyfield, sharing that the experience has reshaped his approach to boxing altogether. Working with Holyfield is offering him a well-rounded perspective, preparing him not only physically but also mentally for the challenge that Tyson presents.
The whole game. The whole thing with boxing is just like
Must have.
That's a mind thing where you're looking at a person and say, you don't go with me, and I ain't gonna show no expression let you know that you are not like this.
In November 2020, Paul made his second professional appearance on the undercard of Mike Tyson's comeback fight against Roy Jones Jr. When he faced Ben Askren in his subsequent bout, the YouTube sensation was still partnered with the fight promotion company Triller. At that moment, he first considered the possibility of stepping into the ring with Tyson for an exhibition bout, though his team showed little enthusiasm. Fast forward 3.5 years, and what began as a distant thought has now materialized into a full-fledged reality. A sanctioned heavyweight professional boxing match match between the two. During Jake Paul's bout against MMA icon Ben Askren, which ended with Paul securing a first-round knockout, chatter among fans about a potential exhibition match against Iron Mike Tyson began to pick up. Many believed that the significant age gap between the two could level the playing field, with expectations that the fight would be more of a showcase involving light sparring and movement. The YouTube sensation toyed with the concept during his journey to one of the Askren Fight Week events. Yet, his trusted coach and longtime friend, former world title challenger Julian Love, cautioned him against pursuing it. In a video shared by Paul mere days ahead of his November 15th showdown with Tyson, he is shown posing a question to his team about the possibility of what he describes as an hilarious fight. Love responds with a chuckle and a shake of his head before offering some wise counsel. He began, "Crazy idea. Do you think I could beat Mike Tyson?" Love giggled and replied, "No," to which Paul questioned his response. "Like not even a year from now?" Love then noted that a veteran of that level would be able to find a way to victory even at his age. He said, "Mike Tyson just got shit. He know how to do, bro. That's just like..." Paul then replies that Tyson is a dog, before saying, "I was just thinking Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson? That would be hilarious." It seems that among older audiences, there's a strong belief that Tyson might just pull off an upset. However, the 31-year age difference between the two contenders raises eyebrows, especially with the legendary heavyweight set to turn 58 this summer. Paul boasts an impressive record of 10 wins and 1 loss, with 7 victories coming by way of knockout. However, his experience mainly lies in the lower tier of the cruiserweight division, facing a mix of celebrity opponents, transitioning UFC fighters, and boxers typically on the lighter end of the scale. His father, Greg Paul, cautioned him that regardless of his age, Tyson would undoubtedly be the most powerful puncher he has ever encountered. Meanwhile, his mother, Pam Stepnick, remains uneasy about the fight, shaped by memories of Tyson's dominance during his prime years. At a PFL media event earlier this year, Paul told Bloody Elbow that his mother was afraid of his most recent declaration. "She will be there, but my mom is very scared actually," he explained at the time. He said, "Like, she keeps on asking me if I'm ready, asking my team if I'm ready. She's not liking this one, to be honest. He just looks scary and big, and his Instagram videos on the mitts look crazy and everything, so I get it." Meanwhile, Mike Tyson made waves on a recent podcast, delivering a fierce takedown of the social media star. Renowned for his unfiltered honesty and fierce presence, Tyson didn't mince words as he systematically undermined Paul's confidence. He challenged Paul's readiness to face off against a veteran boxer like himself, asserting that he remains a powerful contender in the ring, regardless of his age. Tyson's incisive comments appeared to unsettle Paul, who is gearing up for what may be the toughest fight of his career.
Oh God, I like to see that happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
See that happen. So listen, what do you think? Because I had a, I like to call it a discussion, or a debate. What do you think about people thinking about you're not really, what's that word, relevant and stuff, you're not a real fighter? Because I had a discussion with somebody about that, and they said I was using the wrong word as saving boxing.
Oh,
and he had also said if I had another opportunity to change that word, I would have.
Tyson, drawing on his extensive experience and prowess, indicated that Paul could be misjudging the challenge of going up against a fighter of his stature. The podcast evolved into a mental chess match, with Tyson employing psychological tactics to assert his superiority. He underscored the reality that beneath the social media buzz, boxing demands a level of commitment and discipline cultivated over many years, qualities that Tyson exemplifies completely. The recent exchange has intensified the excitement surrounding their upcoming match, leaving fans buzzing with anticipation for Paul's reaction to Tyson's bold challenges in the ring. This bout, already recognized as one of the year's most highly anticipated events, has gained an extra layer of intensity thanks to Tyson's provocative remarks, creating a dramatic backdrop for what promises to be an unforgettable showdown.
And so I had to write him back and explain to him, you never drew 100 million people or 70 million people to the fight, have you? And you're a professional champ, you're a champ of the world, and you've never been able to do that. So that means he's helping boxing. You never helped boxing before. Boxing helped you. And so that's changing the game.
The eagerly awaited match between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul is still on for November 15th, but apprehensions about the 58-year-old Tyson's health are mounting. Sources reveal that his medical assessment is planned for the day before the fight, intensifying worries among fans and experts alike. Initially scheduled for July, the event was postponed following a health scare Tyson faced in May, leading many to question the wisdom of his return to the boxing ring. Fans are increasingly worried about Tyson's age and his recent health struggles. There was a general expectation expectation that Texas licensing regulators would keep a close watch on the boxing legend as the fight approached. As reported by World Boxing News, Tyson is scheduled for his official medical assessment just 24 hours before the event, raising the risk of a last-minute cancellation if any serious concerns arise. Should the regulators deem him unfit to compete, the match could either be downgraded to an exhibition or scrapped altogether. Tyson continues to exude confidence in the face of worries surrounding his comeback. Reassuring his supporters, he declared his eagerness to face Paul and highlighted that his training is advancing without hitches. Earlier this year, Tyson experienced a medical scare that left him dizzy and in need of paramedic assistance following a flight from Miami to Los Angeles. Nonetheless, his determination remains resolute. With just 2 months to go before the fight, this health incident has amplified the inherent risks associated with Tyson's return to the boxing arena.
Do you think you're changing boxing? Do you think you're bringing a different demographics to boxing?
Yeah, I think shining a new light on it and promoting it in a different way and bringing a new fan base to it that didn't really care, and a big new fan base. You know, like my built-in followings are around like 75 million, 80 million, and so they're all now getting exposed to boxing for the first time and falling in love with it because of my story, because they care about me, as well as other influencers. And it's this whole movement where this new generation of kids now all of a sudden cares about fighting. They care about training. They care about the technique, the jab. Like, how is he throwing? How is he looking? How is his cardio? How is his stamina? Who are his coaches? How is he looking? What is his footwork?
The former heavyweight champion is fully dedicated to an intense training program, even eliminating marijuana from his routine, a substance banned by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, and refraining from activity to maximize his performance for the upcoming fight night. While Iron Mike's public relations team asserted that he had achieved a full recovery, further medical assessments revealed he was not cleared to compete this summer. Mike Perry bravely took on the role of a last-minute substitute for the former undisputed heavyweight champion, but his efforts came to a halt in the 6th round. Meanwhile, the highly anticipated clash between Paul and Tyson has been pushed back to November 15th. Concerns are mounting regarding Tyson's health as he gears up to face an opponent who is 31 years his junior. Despite these worries, Paul insists that the 58-year-old is in peak form. So confident is the problem child in the fight's progression that he hasn't even considered finding a backup opponent. Paul told TMZ when asked about the situation, "I don't have concern. He's doing great. He's super healthy behind the scenes and feeling great. So that's what we are focusing on, and there is not a backup currently." The Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation has granted formal approval for the highly anticipated professional heavyweight matchup between Paul and Tyson. However, this bout will take place under a modified set of regulations. Instead of the usual 3-minute rounds, the fight will consist of 8 rounds, each lasting 2 minutes. Furthermore, both competitors will wear 14-ounce gloves, diverging from the standard 10-ounce variety typically used in heavyweight contests. Knockouts are allowed, and the results of the bout will be documented in the official records of both fighters. Since his defeat to Kevin McBride in June 2005, Tyson has refrained from entering any professional contests. The Irishman dominated the fight, sending Iron Mike to the canvas repeatedly until Tyson ultimately retired on his stool after the 6th round. In an open interview that followed, Tyson said, "I realized that I don't think I have it anymore. I've got the ability to stay in shape, but I don't got the fighting guts anymore. I'm just fighting to take care of my bills, basically." He further added, "I don't have the stomach for this no more. I'm more conscious of my children. I don't have that ferocity. I'm not that animal anymore. Most likely I'm not going to fight again. I'm not going to disrespect the sport by losing to these caliber of fighters." In what his former sparring partner, Joe Egan, has called a pompous practice match, Tyson returns to the ring after 19 years to take on Paul. Jake Paul has probably boxed as Mike Tyson on Nintendo and Game Boy a million times, and now he's getting to share the ring with one of the greatest heavyweight champions of all time. For me, it's going to be a glorified sparring session. When Mike boxed Roy Jones Jr., he hit Roy with a body shot and sunk him, and Mike knew he could hurt Roy Jones, Egan told TalkSport.com. Egan noted that Jake Paul was featured on the undercard and probably felt reassured after observing Mike Tyson holding back during their encounter. He acknowledged Paul's courage in stepping into the ring with a legend like Tyson, but expressed skepticism about Tyson actually unleashing his full power. Egan remarked that if Tyson were to fight with all his might, it could pose a significant risk to Paul, irrespective of their age gap. Egan added, "Mike will have lost a lot of speed with age, but he won't have lost his power, and George Foreman showed that when he knocked out Michael Moorer in the 10th round at 45 years of age. As soon as Michael Moorer slowed down, George knocked him out. The power is always going to be there, but the speed will diminish." Tyson has been putting in considerable effort to prove his doubters wrong, frequently frequently posting training videos as he prepares for his return to the boxing ring. Since retiring from professional fighting, he has participated in various matches, including a notable exhibition against Roy Jones Jr. in 2020. However, Eddie Hearn, the leader of Matchroom, has voiced his disapproval of that matchup. For me, it's really sad because Mike Tyson was one of my idols growing up, and to see him fighting at 57-58, but I also understand that a lot of people are going to tune in and watch, Hearn said. Hearn further added, "It's an entertainment event, Netflix. Great to see them involved in boxing. I think it will do really well, but it's just not really one for me. I don't think you should be fighting at 57 years old, but also the guy was one of the greatest ever fighters. Why do you want to go in at 5% of what you were and lose to a guy like Jake Paul? He shouldn't have to do that, but the world is the world we live in." At just 27, Paul is anticipated to step into the ring as the clear favorite, owing to his excellent physical fitness. Nevertheless, many believe Tyson might still have one final knockout punch left in him. Francis Ngannou is unflinching in his assertion to Jake Paul that he stands no chance against Mike Tyson. Tyson, instrumental in helping Ngannou prepare for his boxing debut against Tyson Fury, witnessed Fury barely escape with a victory, even after being knocked down by Ngannou. Drawing on the insights gained from his training with Tyson, Ngannou is brimming with confidence and ready to deliver a decisive blow to Paul. During an appearance on BS with Jake Paul, Ngannou expressed his belief that Tyson would emerge victorious against Paul. He recalled observing Tyson's agility and skill, remarking that the former champion still possesses his remarkable abilities. Ngannou highlighted the uniqueness of Mike Tyson, referring to him as an extraordinary athlete. He cautioned Paul to remain vigilant, as Tyson has the uncanny ability to shift from one side to the other, often without any warning.
You said that you think Mike Tyson's gonna beat my ass.
Yeah. Listen, I have seen how Tyson moves around, just like to show me stuff. He was like this footwork moving, like you move like this, and I'm like, hold on, like, you know, calm down. You know, Mike will move from this side to this side without you knowing exactly at which moment.
Like,
So what do I have to watch out for?
like
So what do I have to watch out for?
Everything. I mean, knowing Mike, I just believe that Mike will beat him.
Following his TKO win against Mike Perry in their boxing match last July, Paul turned his attention to UFC light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira. Although Pereira accepted the challenge, Ngannou warned about Poatan's impressive abilities in the ring. Ngannou said of Pereira, "He's tough. He has some tough hands. I think you're going to get some tough nights. This guy is big, solid, and he's mean. He walks straight to you like, I'm going to eat this guy." Prior to the postponement of the fight, which was caused by health issues related to iron, Mike, former two-weight world champion Andre Ward, shared his insights on the pros and cons of the matchup during an interview with Fight Hub TV. He said, "That's a spectacle. I'm gonna watch it. I don't know. I see people on both sides. Mike shouldn't be in there. And it's like, maybe not, but if there's a 58-year-old that I'm not too concerned about, it's probably Mike Tyson. It is risky." I had a writer text me another day telling me how risky it was, and I'm like, well, Mike's life is risky. He's been risky since he'd been a kid until now. Boxing is risky. Ward characterized the match as an electrifying encounter, while acknowledging that Tyson's physique no longer responds to hits, as it did during his prime. Previously, Ward has voiced his admiration for crossover boxing, emphasizing that he bears no ill will toward it. He praised both Paul and Logan for their determination and fighting spirit. Additionally, Ward revealed that he is open to coming out of retirement for a chance to fight one of them, maintaining his fitness to allow for a swift 7 to 8 week training camp if the right opportunity arises. Tyson has dismissed any criticism, confident in his ability to defeat Paul, who has an impressive record of 10 wins and only 1 loss, primarily against former MMA fighters. Despite this, Joe Rogan suggests that Mike Tyson should reconsider his decision to face Jake Paul. However, Rogan ultimately backs Tyson's choice, even though he harbors significant reservations about Tyson's current performance. Rogan said on a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, "I wish he didn't do it. I wish it wasn't a thing. I wish it wasn't a thing where a 58-year-old guy was going to fight a 28-year-old. That said, I fully support his desire to do it. What? Is he going to live forever? No, he's not going to live forever. Maybe he wants one more shot at it. Maybe his body can do one more fight. I don't know." Tyson's health worries Rogan just as much. As previously stated, Tyson's ulcer flare-up caused the bout against Paul, which was originally scheduled for July, to be postponed. Rogan said, "It's not like he doesn't know how to put his knuckles on your face. The question is, how much does he have left in his body? 58 years old today is not 58 when I was 21. It's a different 58, especially if they're not testing him." Eddie Hearn has expressed that if Jake Paul were to defeat Mike Tyson, it would be a disservice to boxing, undermining the sport's integrity in the eyes of true fans. As Netflix gears up for its first ever live boxing event, Paul and Tyson are poised to battle for a hefty prize pool of $80 million. Although the fight is expected to draw millions of viewers and create a memorable spectacle, promoter Hearn is concerned that it could negatively impact the reputation of boxing. Hearn added, "I don't think there's one boxing person that really wants this fight to happen. So they're looking at it from a different angle, they're looking at it from numbers, they're looking to it for hype, and I get it. I understand that this freak show may well do good numbers." He further added, "But I think if you genuinely care about the sport and the history of the sport, and particularly the legacy of one of the greatest fighters of all time, it's not something you'd ever consider. But I understand their strategy and the business, and if it does numbers, they don't really care how it looks in terms of the empathy of it. I don't think it's ever something you'd see a real boxing person get involved with." Tyson officially retired from boxing in 2005, marking the end of his career after a series of devastating losses and personal challenges. Fast forward to 2020, and he surprised fans with a comeback, taking part in an exhibition match against Roy Jones Jr. Though that encounter resembled more of a high-profile sparring session than a full-fledged competition, his upcoming bout against Paul promises to be significantly more intense. This time around, Tyson will undergo stringent evaluations, including comprehensive brain and heart assessments reflective of his age, in addition to the standard tests required for both fighters. With a 10-1 record, Paul's only loss occurred in 2023 against Tommy Fury, the younger sibling of Tyson. While Tyson holds Paul in high regard, the real test lies in navigating the weight of expectations and apprehensions from fans and analysts, including Hearn. "It's just a different world, isn't it? This new generation. But good luck to him. I'm sure it will do good numbers, and hopefully Mike Tyson doesn't get hurt, because it would be a travesty for boxing," he said. Despite grappling with persistent health issues, including bouts of sciatica that sometimes necessitate the use of a walking stick, Tyson's commitment to the fight remains unshaken. Addressing concerns over Tyson's condition and the possibility of a substitute, Jake Paul expressed unwavering confidence, emphasizing that he has no doubts and intends to move forward with the fight as planned. Tyson himself affirmed his well-being, making it clear that his decision to step into the ring was entirely his own, uninfluenced by any outside pressure. Tyson said, "Bet your life on it. I'm just looking forward to this. This is something that I would say ignites me. It just gives me a life for myself. It's life within myself. It's just me doing what I want to do. Forget everybody else. Forget if they wish I'd lose, win. It's about me doing what I want to do. Forget what my wife and kids are like, thinking about just this one moment. Just stick with me and don't feel sorry for me. Don't worry about me. That's all." Tyson opened up about his fight with Jake, emphasizing that it was solely a personal endeavor, unrelated to his children. He pondered whether his motivation stemmed from ego, admitting that it sometimes led him to overlook potential risks to himself and those around him. Tyson pointed out that his family had always been aware of this side of him, from before their marriage, through parenthood, and throughout their children's upbringing. He acknowledged that this aspect of who he is would never change. Tyson said, "I'm always going to test myself. I'm always going to push the envelope. I'm always very nervous and apprehensive until it gets closer to the fight. Then, I understand this is reality. I've been through this many times, and I know how to handle this situation." Ella Brooke has expressed her support for Jake Paul as he prepares to face off against Mike Tyson in the ring this winter. At 27, Paul first made waves as an online personality on platforms such as Vine and YouTube before transitioning into professional boxing in 2020. His debut fight saw him deliver an explosive first-round knockout against fellow influencer Annie Jib. Over time, Paul has become known for his potent combination of speed and power, amassing an impressive 9-1 record. His only setback came in an unexpected split decision loss to Tommy Fury in February of last year. Just as Paul has made waves in the boxing world, 26-year-old TikTok star Brooke has been forging her own way in the sport ever since her triumphant debut over AJ Bunker in 2022. Now, she's gearing up for a high-profile bout against BKFC contender Jenny Savage at Newcastle's Utilita Arena on September 14th. As an avid supporter of boxing, Brooke has also been keeping a keen eye on the upcoming Paul vs. Tyson showdown. In an exclusive interview with Mirror Fighting, Brooke shared her aspiration that Paul will secure a knockout victory over former heavyweight boxing champion Tyson when they eventually clash in the ring. When asked how Paul gets the win over a far more experienced opponent, Brooke said, "By being the younger, fitter person, that's how he gets it done. Poor Mike Tyson has already had to pull out once. I just think Jake is younger, fitter, and stronger, especially in the heavyweight division. It's not necessarily about skill, but when you have speed because of youth, I think that will come into play. Do I think he's going to knock him out? Realistically, I'm not sure." Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.